Is there anything you want? I'm looking at souvenirs right now. Hold on. What have you been doing? You haven't contacted me at all. Oh, really? You were trying to contact me. I didn't notice at all. Was there an emergency or something? What are you talking about? How can you be so easygoing, and how dare you say that? We're in the middle of a funeral right now. What? A funeral? Whose funeral? Your daughter, Mila's funeral. What? What do you mean? Why? On the day my sister Abby said she was going on a trip and left everything to me, my niece Mila collapsed. Despite the fact that her daughter had a fever, my sister left her own daughter to me and went on her trip. Despite numerous attempts to contact her, I could not reach her. By the time I heard from her, it was already too late. I was filled with anger. We've been married for 4 years, and we've been struggling because we couldn't have a child. At the beginning of our marriage, we discussed our plans for having kids and tried many times, but it didn't go as planned, and that's where we are now. Abby, who got married because she had a child 2 years ago, got divorced within half a year. Since then, she's been pushing her child to me. It'll be a good experience for when you have your own child. She says that as she leaves her child with me. I felt very conflicted about this. Even so, I thought, it's not Mila's fault, and I took care of her. However, I'm honestly fed up with my sister, who completely ignores about my plans. And so, it begins again. I'm going on a trip with my friends for a week from tomorrow, so can you take care of Mila again? Huh? I took care of her last week, didn't I? Again? Well, I had work last week, so I had no choice, right? I have plans too, so I'd like you to ask our parents instead. Huh, you're a full-time housewife. What plans could you have? It's not a big deal, right? Please, take care of her. But you're not going to be around for a whole week. I'll buy you a nice souvenir. This time we're traveling overseas. I've made the reservation a long time ago, so I can't cancel it. Then why don't you take Mila with you? No way! Having a child around would bother everyone. It's a nuisance. Besides, I want to enjoy it by myself. That's too self-centered. Mila will feel lonely. Don't you feel bad for her? It's already too late. I'll bring her over before I leave tomorrow. Bye. She hung up abruptly, and all I could do was sigh in disbelief. I decided to discuss the issue with my husband when he came home from work.
Ah, I see.
Yes, that's why. I need a bit of help from you.
I'm sorry. I have a long business trip starting from tomorrow.
What? Really? How long will you be gone?
I'm planning for 5 days, but if negotiations drag on, it could be up to a week.
I have to take care of Mila all by myself for a whole week then, don't I?
I'm sorry, but I have to work too.
It can't be helped. I understand.
If things get too difficult, try consulting with your mother.
I didn't expect to take care of her alone for an entire week. I was already feeling helpless at this point. Mila, who was very close to my husband, might have felt like he was her father. When I took care of Mila previously, she cried a lot at night. I had a hard time trying to deal with it. At that time, my husband was able to handle it, but this time I had to do everything by myself. The thought of a similar situation that's going to happen makes me very anxious already. And then the day my sister went on her trip, my husband had to leave for his business trip early in the morning, so I was waiting for my sister alone at home. Then, please take care of the rest. Leaving those words behind, my sister was about to leave quickly. At this moment, I noticed that something was different about Mila. Hey, Mila seems to have a red face today, doesn't she? She's been feeling a bit feverish since this morning. What? You're going on a trip leaving a sick child behind? What? It's a trip I've been looking forward to for a long time. I can't cancel it. Won't be a problem if you look after her. Wait a minute. At least take her to the hospital. Your own child has a fever. It's okay. Kids get fevers all the time. If you're worried, you can take her. I don't have much time until my flight. I'm leaving now. What? Wait a moment. Dealing with a sick child will be good practice for you. This experience will be a lesson for you. Bye. I couldn't understand how she could go on a trip leaving her feverish child behind. Seeing Mila, who seemed very weak, filled me with indescribable anxiety. Mila, who is only 2 years old, cannot take any over-the-counter medicines. It seems to be a slight fever for now, so I made an ice pillow and put her to bed as a first aid measure. Not knowing what to do, I called my mother. "Mom, Mila seems to have a fever. Despite this, Abby left her child with me and went on a trip. I don't know what to do."
First of all, calm down. Is the fever very high?
It seems to be a slight fever for now.
If it's a slight fever, let's observe for a while.
If she starts twitching or have any seizures, call an ambulance right away. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Call me immediately if anything happens. My mother's words somewhat calmed me down, but the thought of this continuing for a whole week seemed unbearable. Although it's only a mild fever, just seeing Abby's little 2-year-old body fighting the fever makes me feel so painful. And then Mila's condition took a turn for the worse that night. Her temperature kept rising, her breathing became faster, and she began to suffer. Seeing Mila in that condition, I immediately called an ambulance. I repeatedly tried to call my sister, but I couldn't get through. Why can't I reach her at a time like this? Is it because she can't use her phone overseas? I also tried to contact my husband, but I couldn't reach him either. I don't know if it's out of service or if he has turned off his phone. All I can hear is a merciless announcement from the phone. Just when I was about to lose it with anxiety, my mother contacted me and immediately came over to help.
What should I do? Mom, what should I do?
It's okay. Don't worry. The doctor's treating her right now. However, despite the treatment, her condition kept getting worse. I tried to contact my sister multiple times, but I couldn't reach her at all. 4 days after being rushed to the hospital.
No, this can't be happening. Why? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mila passed away just like that. A child of just 2 years old passed away without seeing her mother one last time. I was at a loss for words and broke down crying.
It couldn't be helped. It's not your fault. You responded immediately, didn't you?
Yeah, but
what in the world is Abby doing, really? Why can't we contact her? She's Mila's mother.
If I knew this was going to happen, I would have asked for the address of her hotel. Why didn't I ask her, knowing that Mila had a fever? Filled with regret, I asked the funeral home to take care of Mila for a while, despite feeling sorry for her. I wanted to discuss what to do next, but I couldn't contact my sister or my husband. Unless the business trip was extended, it was supposed to end tomorrow, so I had no choice but to wait for him to come home. Seeing how worn out I was, my mother advised me to take rest, and for the first time in 4 days, I was able to sleep deeply. The next day, I continued to call my sister in the morning, but the situation didn't change, and my husband, who was supposed to return home, still hadn't returned. Since I couldn't reach my husband, I decided to confirm with his company if his business trip had been extended due to business negotiations. Then I was told by the company that he wasn't on a business trip, but was on paid leave for a week. And at that point, I had a bad feeling. I tried not to think too deep about it, but not only Mila, but Abby was close to my husband, and they had a really friendly relationship. In front of me, my husband often told my sister that she was cute, and she didn't seem to mind it. Also, when my sister left Mila with me, my husband often came home late, and recently, they were coming home together. Once I started suspecting about them, I couldn't stop. Both of their departure dates were the same this time, and the periods of absence were the same. Could there be so many coincidences? In order to find some proof, I checked my sister's social media. Then, in some of the photos, I saw her eating delicious room service food in a hotel with a date 2 days ago. And when I looked closely, I saw my husband in the mirror shown on the photo. At this moment, I was certain that they were having an affair, leaving a sick child with her sister to go on an affair trip. And with my husband, her own sister's husband. There's no way I could ever forgive them. I saved the images as evidence and managed to get a divorce form amidst the preparation for Mila's funeral. Mila's funeral was held with only close family members 2 days later.
Why isn't Abby here as Mila's mother?
Still can't get in touch? Yes, that's right.
Outrageous! It's unthinkable to be absent at her own child's funeral.
What kind of a mother is she?
Just when our parents were enraged, I finally received a call from my sister. Hello, I'm at the airport now. What do you want for a souvenir? I'm coming home today. I thought about thanking you for taking care of Mila, so I was wondering what you might like. You know, I couldn't reach you. What have you been doing all this time? I was on a trip. Why? Despite my countless attempts to reach you, why didn't you pick up? Really? Sorry, I didn't notice. Maybe it's because I was overseas. Anyway, do you want anything?
I'm in the middle of a funeral right now. I don't care about that. Talk to you later.
Whose funeral?
Your daughter, Mila's.
Huh? Mila's? What do you mean?
Mila passed away 2 days ago.
Wait. I don't understand what you're saying.
You left Mila with me to go on your trip even though she was sick. After that, her condition suddenly worsened. She kept calling for her mom, looking for you until the end, you know.
You're lying, right?
You basically killed your own child by abandoning her, even when she was suffering.
Wait a minute. That's a lie, right?
If you think it's a lie, come back quickly. Then my sister returned home in the evening on the same day my husband came back. Seeing her break down in tears after realizing the truth when she saw Mila's portrait on the altar, and my husband comforting her, I was dumbfounded.
I'm sorry. I should have been there. I'm really sorry.
Look, I'm sorry to bring this up while you're mourning, but there's something I need to confirm.
What do you want to confirm?
I contacted you every day when Mila suddenly fell ill. Phone calls, emails, texts, everything. But I didn't receive any response from you. Why is that?
Why? Well, I wasn't overseas. I couldn't use my smartphone.
Then what's this? I showed my sister the photos she had posted on her SNS. This post is dated 4 days ago, isn't it? If you were able to post this, it means you could at least use your phone in the hotel, right?
That's...
You saw my messages but found them annoying, so you didn't even read them or try to respond, right? You didn't want to contact me at all, correct? Am I wrong?
No, that's not it at all.
I see. Then, because another person shown in the photo is here, I'll ask them.
Another person? There's no one else, right?
Your trip abroad with my own sister. Did you enjoy it?
Me?
I enlarged the photo so that both my husband and sister could see it clearly. The moment they realized, the color drained from their faces. Even our parents, who were looking at the photo, looked really surprised. Could you explain what this means? This person reflected in the mirror is you, isn't it?
It's not me. I was on a business trip. It must be someone who looks like me.
Well, it was an emergency. I couldn't contact you, so I checked with your company. They told me you were not on a business trip, but on a paid leave for the whole week. If you say that this person's a look-alike, where were you then? Seems you really enjoyed your trip since you posted such a photo, but it seems you were a bit careless, weren't you?
I didn't think I would be in the photo.
I'm sorry.
They had nowhere to run and finally admitted to their affair. Even our parents were furious beyond belief.
Do you understand what you've done? Leaving your child behind to have an affair overseas? That's when your child was sick with a fever. This is outrageous. You're no daughter of ours. We disown you. Knowing that you are a single mother, we have tolerated you quite a bit. Do you realize how much money we've given you until now? I'd like it all back, but never mind. I don't want to see your face anymore. Consider that as a settlement fee for cutting off ties with you.
What? Dad, Mom, wait a minute.
Quiet! I don't care about you anymore. Don't ever come back to us again.
Oh, Amy, please try to convince Mom and Dad. Help me.
You caused all this mess. I don't know what to say. Perhaps you'll regret your actions for the rest of your life? I couldn't forgive my sister for neglecting Mila and treating her poorly, so I spoke to her coldly. Even if my sister continued to apologize to Mila through tears, Mila would never call her mom again. And I couldn't forgive my husband, who had always sided with my sister. You're not an outsider in this matter either.
What? What do you mean?
First, sign this right now. You're here about the compensation from my lawyer.
Why do I have to sign this divorce paper?
Huh? Isn't it obvious? Having an affair with my sister is just unbelievable. I find it repulsive, and I can't stand being with you anymore.
Wait! I said I'm sorry, didn't I? Let's talk this out.
No, that's impossible. How can I have a conversation with someone who lied about a business trip and went on a romantic getaway with my own sister?
Oh, well, about that.
It's truly impossible, so please, deal with the rest through my lawyer. After getting him to sign the divorce papers, I immediately submitted them. The compensation came to $35,000 for both of them, and I decided to move out and return to my parents' home. I'm sorry. I've come back home again.
Don't be silly. There's no need to worry. You're our only daughter.
There's no need to be with such an awful man. You can always stay here.
Then I'll be in your care for a while. Later, I heard that my sister and my ex-husband ended up being together, but it seemed their values didn't suit each other, and they broke up within about half a year. My sister now works day and night to pay up the compensation payments, and she's barely living by in a rundown apartment. My ex-husband, who stayed at the company for a while, seemed to find it unbearable. After the affair with my sister became known, and after paying the compensation, he disappeared. Well, it doesn't really matter to me now. I'm currently enjoying a relaxing life without being burdened by anyone. I'm truly glad to be able to enjoy this newfound sense of liberation, considering going on a trip with my parents soon. While I'm fine being alone at this moment, I do hope to meet a wonderful partner and have children in the future.